So a theme in WordPress provides you with all the front-end styling for a site. There are thousands of WordPress themes out there, and it's really fun to go look for one. But when you're new to WordPress, working with a theme when it's fresh out of the box is really overwhelming. That's because in most cases, you don't yet have content in your site, so it's really hard to imagine what the final product is going to look like. Also, there's usually some initial setup for any theme that's really hard for a novice user to get through. So what I've done is I've chosen a few WordPress themes and turned them into what I call templates. These are basically WordPress themes for which I've done the initial setup, and I've added some fake content that you will gradually replace with your own content throughout the semester. Jenna Doe has 6 portfolio items on the main page displayed in a grid. For each item, you can actually see how it's been classified. These categories here match those in the navigation bar at the top of the screen. And if you click on any one of these categories, it will lead you to the different portfolio items that are associated with that category. If you click on one of the portfolio items, it will bring you to the text of that item and will also tell you about other items that are related to that item. You will also see that Jenna Doe has a scroll to top button and a search option. Jenna Doe has a space for a picture and a byline, and it has this very dynamic feel. So when you click on any of the categories in the navigation menu, you'll see the appropriate portfolio items come right up. You can click on any one of them, and that's when you'll get to the text, picture, as well as related portfolio items. If you back out and go back to the main page, you will see that there is a section where you can put in icons for maybe your major or some other activities you might have. And there's a connect button at the bottom, what's called a call to action button that you can change and make whatever you want. Jenna Doe also has a hamburger menu up in the top right corner of the screen. If you click on it, it links to some pages that you don't have to have, but you might want to have for your site. Jenna Doe has a slider on the home page for whatever photos you want. It has some space for About Me text, and it has a very robust footer. It has a navigation menu, and if you click on any item in the navigation menu, it will lead you to the portfolio items associated with that category. If you click on any of the portfolio items, you will see lots of space where you can put photos, text, video, and it also has a feature where you can identify particularly important things for that particular item. Seamless has a hero content section where you can have a short statement about yourself. It also has its 6 portfolio items in a grid style on the main page. You mouse over them and you'll see the title, and you can click on any one, and it'll again bring you to a header image, some text, and related portfolio items. Across the top, it has the typical navigation menu with the categories that again lead to each portfolio item that is associated with that category. When you're on a page like this, you'll see there's also a way that you can search the site. Smoke has a hero content section where you can have a couple of short statements about yourself. It has its navigation menu across the top. As always, those particular words, if you click on them, will bring to any of the portfolio items that are associated with those categories. You can see the grid style portfolio items on the main page, and you can have different shaped ones, so they sort of stagger in this nice masonry style. It also has a scroll to top button, and it also has what's called a top bar menu with a call to action button. So the top bar in this case says, want to see my resume, and go for it. You can click on that and go to that particular page for your resume, but you could make this anything that you want. White and black is a very bold and simple theme. Like all the other themes, you can use the navigation menu to find which portfolio items are associated with each category, even tells you exactly how many. It has a simple search feature, and you have space for an About Me page. This and That has a large banner header picture on the home page. There's some room for text, and the menu for the categories is actually on the right-hand sidebar. And I've set it up so that it tells you exactly how many portfolio items have been placed under each of those categories. Once you're in a category and you have the portfolio items before you, you can, of course, click on the title to read more about what fits under that particular item. Here and There has a very minimalistic style. Right now it's with white and black, although you can change all of that. You'll see the 6 grid portfolio items you click on any one of these, it will very nicely have the main title and tell you what categories it's in, a header image, and some text and related items. The navigation bar is across the top. There are only 3 categories here, but you could certainly have more if you wished. Remember, regardless of what template you choose for this semester, there's a million things you can change about that template to really make it your own. You'll have the option to change the font, the background color, various images that you use. So in the end, you have a site that looks different from everybody else's in the class.